it became at a point it became what do I want to say? Very difficult for these past ministers to actually deal with.
Yep. It's something nobody actually wanted to touch.
And from that stretch, when we sack coaches, look at the Milovan Rajvac episode with the Ghana Football Association. When he had to eject himself from the hotel he was lodging at the time because he said he was not going to leave. The FA had to settle some stuff. Ministry had to come in, blah, 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 back and forth. These things are not good for us as a country. We bring in expatriates. We don't pay them. We appoint local coaches. We don't pay them. The second point I want to make is that now that this is cleared, we still owe the black princesses. And that has to be settled.
Yep. That's what they did. We don't prioritize them at all.
That has to be settled because that thing with owing national team coaches, players, and whatever it is, Charlie, in 2025, why are we still even having these discussions?
Let me tell you why. Let me just make a simple point to interject before you go on. So, I say there's this practice that needs to stop. So, the FA contracts coaches. They typically don't consult the ministry. Then, when they agree on their figures, then they bring the coaches to the ministry and say, "Okay,
pay this amount.
We have hired these people, so they have worked, so you have to pay them." Just like we saw a retool of the technical team.
Yes.
Brought in
Winfred Schaefer.
I don't think Kofi Adams agreed to that. I don't think the state of Ghana.
No, he even came in before Kofi Adams was appointed.
Hold on. Let me just.
Yeah.
I don't think they agreed to that. They hired all these video analysts. We don't agree to any of those things. And then we take them, and then the minister also says, "Okay, if you say they'll help us, then we'll pay." You see, these things, they don't help anybody because in the end, they come back to hurt you and I. That is a practice that must stop. When the FA is hiring a coach, we all know that our national teams run concurrently with the government.
Yeah.
You do not go and be an island and go and do your own thing and then come and then the money becomes an albatross around the state's neck. Do better consultation and then let everybody be on the same page. Let me let Gabby finish his point, then I can come to you.
No, I want to get something about you said about the money.
Yeah.
What you said is very important, that the FA acts as an island. But the truth is, the sports ministry should not be paying for coaches. That's the actual problem.
Yep.
The whole setup is the problem. But I'll talk about it. You got
But in all this too, we always have conversations about this. But in all this, we do forget the NSA, who are supposed to play a role in this. Ben, they are supposed to be the one champion in it.
They are supposed to be the people collecting, like they're supposed to be the pipeline,
yes.
literally. Like that's what he's saying.
But it's been an authority in the past where they've always been kicked aside.
Yeah, the GFA, they don't deal with the NSA. They are big boys. They go.
I don't know what differently can be done under Yaman Pofankre's regime. The third thing I want to talk about is that I think the ministry has come in. The minister has come in to also talk about the National Sports Fund thing. That thing has been discussed over and over, but never implemented.
Nope.
And he's saying that is what we are going to use to pay the coaches. So that has to be established. It has to be set up. I don't know how that's
a very important proclamation. If you did make it,
I don't know how that will be championed. I don't know how funds are going to will be put into that to settle coaches. So we don't have this headache of bringing in coaches and then
the states has to pay for them. Anyway.
Yes. Now when he comes back, like Coach said, I think if you watch the graphic they put out there, I don't think there's a lot of clarity in there for me. Maybe the guys on it here disagree, but if I watch that graphic carefully and Susu put out a point, I don't think there's enough clarity
on bonuses
in there. Because look, one of the coaches I spoke to today is not too happy with what has been dished out. So why don't we have a statement up until now? I stand to be corrected. Maybe when I don't know if it's out.
No, there's no statement.
But it has to be out for us to understand that this and this a proper breakdown. And that's why I told you that when I reached out to them, they said they were going to do a proper breakdown of that.
We'll wait for it.
We are waiting for it.
Yeah. Thank you. Let me take Susu's thoughts and I'll go to.
So what I was saying is that the sports ministry shouldn't be paying coaches for the national team. The sports ministry should be providing support to help. Let's say we need to build a national stadium. talking about when you are doing youth in school, like sports in schools.
Yeah.
These are the type of things that the sports ministry is supporting. The Black Stars should be run on FA generated funds, if you are being very honest. The government doesn't need to step in to pay for everything. Like, if you are being honest, the FA is failing because the FA should be, by this time, we have a professional league. The FA should be able to make enough money to pay for the Black Stars and everything needed to run the Black Stars. If they say that they don't have money to pay for under 15 or something, I get it, because you know there's integration with the schools, getting the kids
So
out
the
of
FA
school.
has a billion sponsors. When the Black Stars play, do you see their training kits?
Exactly.
The whole training shirt is covered in sponsors. Like,
Exactly.
there's no space. There's no space for anything else.
Exactly. So why are we still at the point that, so the problem is, you see right now, when you keep going to the sports, and the truth is our governments delay in paying people. This is something our governments do. We talk about it all the time. Nurses here, teachers here, contractors here. Our governments don't pay on time. So once you bring these people into the government thing, they are going to be paid like any government employee, and there's going to be delays. So once we bring the government in, the delays are going to happen, because truth be told, the only people get paid on time in this country are MPs. That's it. So if we say that we want the sports ministry to pay, which they shouldn't, in my opinion, because the sports ministry isn't a football ministry. Does the sports ministry pay salaries for every coach, for every national team? Do they pay?
No.
So why do they do it for the FA?
Yeah.
Why is the FA special?
Because if you remember correctly, when we brought Nora Hutla to come and coach the Black Queens, her salary or whatever was handled by the FA.
Yeah,
Exactly. They put it out.
In fact, to even extend what Susu is saying, if going by what the government does for the FA, the other federations also say that they don't do the same thing, we are going to be in a lot of trouble. Athletics say that, okay,
Pay our coaches.
when we hire coaches, you have to pay our coaches. When our volleyball team, our boxers say you have to give
when
our
our
coaches
athletes are in school in America, pay their fees. That's what that even makes more sense for the sports ministry to do. And the sports ministry is paying Black Stars coaches, playing bonuses, and it doesn't make sense unless you are saying something like the World Cup, maybe pre-financing. Okay, we are going to the World Cup, this is our budget, we don't have the money, but we know that we'll get this much in prize money, so we can cover it eventually and we'll pay you back. That one crowd, I agree that there's some logical sense to it, because maybe the amount of money you need is a lot and you can't generate it just like that. We get it. But for the day-to-day running, because you get money from FIFA, what are you doing with the money? You get money from FIFA.
They say they spend that money on administrative.
You have money
costs.
from FIFA. You have sponsors. You have a league.
Yep.
All of those things, and you don't have enough money to run the national team.
The league, you quite quite.
Oh, come on.
But
But you get one.
Point-
The point
point-
is,
points very
just
well made.
all these things.
Yep.
The FA is failing at their internal generating revenue targets.
Yep.
Clearly.
Do they have any targets?
Oh.
Let me hear from Nimli on this matter.
Shida Kofi Adams, Honorable Kofi Adams, he's done very, very well. Like Gabby rightly said, he's completely created his own set, far away from the rest. I hope it is something that he extends beyond the Black Stars. We need to go down there to the juvenile teams. Very, very important. Because in this country, we know that where the important area of football is not the apex of the game. It's the foundation of the game. And like Susu rightly said, if there are monies to be spent, we should spend it
on the development
on
phase.
the development phase,
Yep.
not at the senior level.
Nope.
I agree with Susu when he says the FA should be proactive enough
I'm trying to find their list
to
of
make
sponsors on their
proper
website.
money that will enable
for the
them
Black Stars.
cater for the Black Stars than the Black Queens. The Black Stars and the Black Queens, even their kid sponsors, I think monies from that can be used to settle our coaches. I stand to be corrected on, but I remember during the days of Kwesi Nyantakyi, one of the as part of the Puma deals, the coaches were also given some percentage, and then the country would just add a bit more to sort them out. But my problem here, you are giving the taxpayers money to these coaches. They deserve it. Nobody should get me wrong. Benketia, as we speak, the gross disrespect shown to the people of this country, on how much money Otto Addo earns, how much money John Pencil earns, how much money Fatal Dauda earns, we don't know.
Have no idea.
We have no idea. So I don't expect any of the coaches to come and tell us that the amount of money they've given is not up to what it should be. How do we fight your cause? How do we tell the ministry that, look, you've cheated this person and therefore go and give him what is due him? How do we? Abuwo. Abumo. Because
you are collecting my money, but you are treating the matter like a state secret.
That is it.
Meanwhile, it is my money.
Meanwhile, it is our money. I know Honorable Kofi Adams.
Yep.
Although he was not consulted when Shefa and those people were employed, but he got the power. He's got the power to have told them that, look,
we cannot hide this,
so we cannot hide this. We are the paying masters.
Yep. That's exactly what I was saying.
So that is no excuse. But the problem here is that we come here, Shefa, how much is he being paid?
We have no idea.
We don't know.
Probably 50K or
the
more.
most transparent sports organization in Ghana.
Yeah.
We don't know.
The last time we heard, they said 65. Those were the reports.
The technical director is any more than the head coach.
Can you imagine?
In fact, we also according to reports, I think it was 50,000.
So, Mr. Minister, you see, when we are giving $50,000 out to Otto Addo, $65,000 to a 78-year-old man. Come on.
Come on, dear. Come
on, man. You have to be very open and transparent on these matters. No, I went to Tumu last week. I was in Tumu. What I saw, Jesus Christ. It was a nice show. Look, without saying Sebita Frache, if you are in Accra, you think Accra is Ghana.
Very, very true.
You think Accra is Ghana?
Very true.
There are people in this country that need those money to go and change their life. But politicians, God will bless you. Listen to me, I'm saying God will bless, because if you can leave your people in those states, come to Accra after they voted for you, put your children in international schools, your family, your wives, your everybody live good, and you go back and you see the way people are living. In Ketia, I visited the school of my brother, our former colleague, Fentio Tairu Fentio. Fentio primary school nete no ameta blog no kakasi oni. Same Benjamin, there's no chair. I saw the teachers bungle. I said, Jesus Christ, you put me in there, my soul will die before my body will enter. I'm telling you honestly. Today you are paying Schaefer $65,000. He comes once every 3 months, but every month he's collecting. Who signed those deals? Honorable Kofi Adams, who approved those deals? Who did that?
Very soon we'll hear that hit to his money is in arrears.
You've paid them. That is the right thing to do. Once you pay them the money. But the people of Ghana needs to know. No more. We need to know. I know how much money my Excellency John Dramani Mahama earns. So we know. I know how much money the Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Right Sumano Dagby, I know how much he earns. Why are you keeping how much Otto Addo, how much John Pencil, how much Fatal Dauda, how much Shefa? Why are you keeping it away from the people of
Even
Ghana?
the Speaker of Parliament and the President.
We know how much they earn. Please show us a bit respect.
This is from the most transparent association according to them.
Look at these people.
Yeah.
Oh no more. Chidan Kofi Adams, he's taking a bold step, but it's very incomplete. He needs to complete it. He needs to reveal these deals to us. Coaches, why are you ashamed? Why you don't want people to know how much money you earn?
No, they don't. So sometimes when
You don't know people. You don't want people to know.
sometimes when people hear, people worry you.
What is he saying?
This is how some family members remember they have school fees to pay.
No, it doesn't matter. But you should cut your coat according to your size.
They worry you. They worry you. As for not putting their money out in
Look,
public.
you know how, look, this one before we change the topic, I promise the people of Tumu
Yeah.
that anytime I sit on this program, I will plead. My knees are down.
Oh.
Bring the camera people. I'm going to kneel down in this studio. And I'm kneeling down and appealing to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Look, the road we went through, part of the road leads to Dr. Hilal Liman's village, where he comes from, the former president. That alone qualifies that road to be what? A proper road. And if you go to the road through Tumu all the way to Burkina, no, when we got to Tumu, we went to a certain village, they say, look, we are 30 minutes away from Burkina Faso. Let's contact. Say, me, my waist, no more. You are going to affect my co-train ability. You can't do that. Bring the video, come and video me. I want to play to his
No, you're already being captured.
Okay,
You're already being
on
captured,
my
so
knees.
don't worry.
No more here, though. Don't listen here, though. To His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Papa, look, Tumu is the biggest or the largest maize producing constituency in Ghana. That alone should give them a better road. The roads are bad and it is beyond measure. As for the schools and things there, the least said about it, the better. To the MPs, look, all those MPs from the northern part of Ghana, Obinyabi, everybody do a little. Stop giving the people 3 Maggie cubes and 1 iodated sword and 5 cities for them to vote for you.
Relax.
No,
Calm down.
come on, I wept.
Calm down.
And it is so painful. Sports Panorama is the biggest sports program in Ghana, worldwide, well acknowledged. Let not this platform pass you by, honorable all the northern regional ministers, all the MPs. Obianye kakra. Look, let me applaud the MP of Sisala West, Dr. Mohammed Bataglia. Ona Bemichi. Dr. Mohammed Bataglia. He's a very good man. And from the way he spoke, the passion with which he spoke in Ketia, we need to help the people. As for Kofi Adams, he has done a yeoman's job. But Kofi, you are in UK. You shouldn't be in UK watching friendly game. For the fact that you are there, this tournament was an invitation tournament. Monies would have exchanged hands.
Easy
Money.
If there's no money, we don't move.
Ababu Akunta. The Jemefa Commission, for which I worked for, one thing that was so clear: nobody takes the Black Stars of Ghana or any of our national teams on a money-making spree
without accountability.
Honorable Kofi Adams, don't allow Ketokreku and people to take our national team out. You see the money you are paying. So you are saying the Black Stars is lucrative enough to manage.
I'm trying to find you because the full list of sponsors.
The money that will come out from this can be some of the money can be used to pay the coaches for the next 6 months. You should stop what you are doing. Be transparent. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, so far so good. We don't want any element to move away from the level of transparency of the president. So please, Honorable Kofi Adams, when you come down to Ghana, the moment you land like this, in 2 weeks,
move in the spirit of
transparency. We should move in the spirit of transparency. Tell us how much money was involved in this campaign and how we benefited as a country and where the money will be deposited. You are talking about fund. Gabby, you said, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sports fund.
National Sports Fund.
These are some of the means with which we can put money into those sports funds.
Now let me just finish off.
No manya blawo.
Let me
So
just
now
tell you-
to
I just want to just add a little bit to what coach said, and then
Please quickly, please quickly, I need to
and
move
the
on.
foolish budgets we do that are more than the prize money for tournaments. It should stop.
all those nonsense will have
It
to
should
stop.
stop. How can you budget for something and the
And
money
that any
you are
far
planning
less.
to use, even if you won the tournament, you won't reach? How can you do that? We need to stop that nonsense.
So you see, the Black Stars. I like the issue you brought about internally generated funds. Look, if you have GMPC
No.
as a primary sponsor,
Bechi.
hold on, Goyle,
Che.
KGL.
KGL,
Che.
there's MTN.
Che.
Look, these are not small boys.
no,
oh.
no.
They are not small players in the industry.
When
Like,
the Black Star qualified to the World Cup, it got to a
The sponsors
stage,
then
the then
Chao.
minister,
Then
Mustafa
Chao.
These
Yusuf,
are the
and
big
FA
ones I can
people,
even
they were
remember.
fighting.
Yeah.
This one said transfer the money into my account. This one said transfer the money to the ministry
Look,
account.
when
This one
we're
said-
going for the Qatar World Cup,
We saw this
I don't know
things.
if you remember.
We remember.
I think some few months to the Black Stars leaving, or I think they left or something like that. That period, we did the GFA launched back to back to back to back to back.
1 week, one launch. 1 week, one
National
launch.
Captain Mehdi.
1 week, one launch.
Where is
Anyway,
all those money?
we hope that we can get accountability in the next 2 weeks.